2013 State of the University Address can get underway. Kindly silence all cell phones at this time. Please welcome the FAU Marching Owls under the direction of Dr. Sean Murray.
Good morning, and welcome to the 2013 State of the University Address. Let's begin by giving another round of well-deserved applause to Dr. Sean Murray and the FAU Marching Owls. I want you to know that 4 members of FAU's band program were selected to play in this year's National Intercollegiate Band, which is a huge honor. The National Intercollegiate Band showcases the most talented musicians in the country, and we're proud that 4 FAU students were asked to be a part of it, and 3 additional students were chosen as alternates. So congratulations to all of them and to our university's fine band program. Some of the leaders of our university community are here with us this morning, and I would ask that you join me in welcoming members of our Board of Trustees. I'm going to ask them to stand. The FAU Foundation Board of Directors, FAU National Alumni Association Board of Directors, and the President's senior staff. Would you all stand and be recognized? It's a pleasure for me to be here this morning to bring greetings on behalf of the Board of Trustees. As you know, in June of this year, the board voted unanimously to name Dennis Crudele the university's interim president. We chose Dennis because of the tremendous confidence we have in his leadership ability and his long history of managing the university's finances with great skill and effectiveness. He stepped up to the plate without hesitation, and he was surprised, but he wasted no he wasted no time in embracing the many responsibilities of the presidency. He's moving our university forward on all fronts. The first thing when I asked him if he would serve in that capacity, first as acting, the first thing that he told me, or the second thing, the first thing was yes, he would do it. And the second thing was that he was not going to be a placeholder, that he would need my commitment that we were going to move forward and not just stand in place. And I said, that's exactly what I was looking for. And his experience has helped us to set the priorities and guided his decisions. And I'm sure that I speak on behalf of all of us in thanking him for this critically important leadership role that he's playing during this period of transition. This morning, he'll recap some of the university's most notable accomplishments of the past year and give us a preview of the developments that lie ahead. So without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Interim President of Florida Atlantic University, Dennis Crudele.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Chair Barber, and sincere thanks to all of you and all of our trustees and your dedication to Florida Atlantic University. We're very grateful for the generously donating your time, energy, and leadership skills to the business of running this large and complex organization. Good morning. Oh, I wasn't sure what kind of response I was going to get. I'm glad that you're here today to look ahead with me to a new year and a new era at Florida Atlantic University. Today, I'm going to share some information with you about some exciting initiatives that are being launched this year and also review some of the notable achievements of this past year as well. Because so many great things have been accomplished, it would be impossible for me to give all of this credit that's due in one single speech. So please bear with me as I try to paint a picture in very broad strokes that will give you some idea of the extraordinary job so many people are doing here as we look forward to moving on a host of fronts. I'd like to start by telling you about a 21st century project that has been given a classical Greek name, the Agora Project. You may have already heard about the Agora Project, which is being launched this semester. Agora is a Greek word dating back to ancient times that refers to a place where people gather to do business and discuss ideas. The Central Marketplace in Athens was called the Agora. We're taking that concept and applying it to life here at FAU in an effort to underscore the importance of maintaining civil discourse in all interactions. This is something that's also being addressed at other major universities around the country, including Rutgers, the University of Missouri, and the University of Arizona. The Agora project will be at work throughout this academic year, presenting a whole variety of events to promote civil and respectful dialogue among people with widely differing views in a melting pot we call FAU. Dr. William Trapani of the School of Communications and Multimedia Studies is heading up this task force, assisted by the Arts and Letters Dean, Heather Coltman, and the Dean of Students, Dr. Corey King. I encourage you to contact them if you'd like to contribute your ideas to this wonderful effort. On a related note, I'd like to tell you about another project that's very important that is getting underway this year. The FAU Human Rights Initiative is a multidisciplinary undertaking that's aimed at building on the success of the Peace Studies program that was started here in 1999 by Barbara Schmidt. This new initiative is focused on uniting people throughout the university to develop themes of human rights, peace and social justice through research, curricular expansion, and community outreach. The ultimate goal is to establish a Center for Peace and Human Rights at Florida Atlantic University. You can get involved by contacting the director of the project, Dr. Michael Horswell. You know, I've had the privilege of being here at this university for 26 years. I was going to say working at this university for 26 years, but it's been a great ride. And all that I've been talking about and hearing about is FAU getting to the next level, about pushing the envelope in all sorts of ways to transform FAU from a great university, from a good university to a truly great one. That transformation, I believe, is well underway and is now becoming a reality. As anyone can tell by simply looking at the changes that have taken place on this campus in recent years. Florida Atlantic University hired me as the purchasing director in 1987, resembles very little what I see at FAU today. As I was planning this speech, I thought about the road ahead, the road that leads upward to that next level we've all been striving for. That level is not really very far away, and there's no doubt that we have the ability and the energy to keep moving toward those highest goals. And once we reach that summit, we'll set even higher goals, because FAU is in the job of building a great university, and that job is never done. There are always new challenges to be faced, new opportunities to be seized, and new advances to be made. We saw a very important advance this fall in enrollment as it hit another new high. At the conclusion of Drop Ad, we had 30,759 students enrolled university-wide. That set a new record, nearly a 2% increase in total overall enrollment, and credit hours are up too. We set another new record for the size of our freshman class as we welcomed 3,492 first-time in college students here at the Boca Raton campus and the Honors College at the Jupiter campus. These kids come to us with solid academic credentials, as well as an average high school GPA of 3.43, an average SAT score of 1546, and an average score on the ACTs of 22. Please note that the percentage of out-of-state students has also jumped nearly 56% in this last year, which shows great progress toward our goal of enrolling more freshmen from outside Florida. As always, our incoming class at the Honors College is made up of real superstars. There are 112 new students in the Honors College with an average GPA of 4.16, an SAT score of better than 1877, and an ATC score of more than 28. Their arrival brings the total Honors College population to 316. You know, I had the opportunity to meet many of our incoming students last month at the Freshman Convocation. It's a really great event that was introduced several years ago to formally welcome students here to the university. This is one of the ways we're trying to help them be successful in transitioning from high school to be a good start in their college careers, and more importantly, to graduate in 4 years. Also, 70 new faculty members have come on board this semester to help serve our expanding student body, and there'll be more to come. A few of them are pictured here. All the colleges plus HBOI and the library are welcoming new faculty this year. They bring with them credentials from institutions that include Harvard, the New York Medical College, and the Ohio State University. That was for you, Pat. We're very glad that we're able to hold the line on tuition and fees this year after a series of increases. The legislature took a lot of pressure off us by restoring our last year's cut of $24.7 million. We're very grateful to our Tallahassee delegation for going to bat for us and to Governor Scott for signing the bill that helped to restore the financial health of FAU and all of the state universities. One big advantage that we're offering freshmen for the first time this year is the opportunity to live in Parliament Hall, our newest student residence. Why the name Parliament Hall, you might ask? Good question. It's because the collective noun of a group of owls is a parliament of owls, making that a very special choice for the home for these fledgling owls. This is our first student housing facility to have a faculty member in residence, which is something that's being adopted around the country to promote informal interaction between new students and a caring, involved faculty member. Students have shown that this is a very effective way of helping students adapt to college life and to do well in their studies. The faculty member in residence in Parliament Hall is Dr. Charles Dukes, an associate professor in the College of Education. We want to thank him for stepping forward to fill this very important role. Parliament Hall includes 2 dining venues that also offer students healthy menu selections. Not something I had in my day, but I think it's a great opportunity. And here's a view of one of them. And speaking of new students, we also welcome our 3rd class of medical students last month. A diverse cohort of physicians, of future physicians, has come to us nationally through a nationally competitive academic qualifications and high enthusiasm for their medical studies. One of the traditions that's been established by our medical school is to have each incoming class write its own oath, pledging commitment to the time-honored profession they hope to become part of. Here we see our class of 2017 reciting their oath in unison. And I'm very proud to report that the College E. Schmidt College of Medicine has received provisional accreditation. Its first residency program, which is in internal medicine, has been awarded full accreditation. And speaking of accreditation, congratulations also are in order for Student Health Services, which has been granted a 3-year accreditation by the authority that sets national standards for student health. Congratulations to Director Kathy Wallace and her team of healthcare professionals. I'd like to take a moment now to welcome some newcomers to the leadership team and thank several other people for important responsibilities in their interim capacity. Dr. Daniel Gropper, Dean of the College of Business, joined us as the Dean of College of Business last summer, is coming to us from Auburn University, where he's Associate Dean and the David and Meredith Luck Professor of Finance. He is deeply engaged in the development of our largest college, and we're very grateful to have him here at the helm. He also has a PhD in economics from Florida State University, my alma mater. And I don't know why they put that in the speech. There's nothing to do, but thank you, Dan. Maybe you should read this thing before I get up here. Ms. Joanne Davis is serving as the Interim Vice President of Community Engagement and the Executive Director of the FAU Foundation, giving us the benefit of her 18 years of experience in nonprofit organizations. My longtime colleague, Ms. Dorothy Russell, took on the responsibility of Senior Vice President for Financial Affairs when I left that position to become the Interim President. I'm personally very grateful to her because I have complete confidence in her ability to handle many duties that come with the job. Ms. Stacy Volnick has been serving as Chief of Staff and Vice President of Executive Operations since earlier this year. She's an FAU veteran who's written a great success story, arriving here in 1985 as an undergraduate student and joining the administration shortly after her receiving her bachelor's degree. She's now a double alumna, having earned a master's degree in educational leadership in 2006. And her 22 years of experience here on the business side of the university have given her a comprehensive understanding of how this large and very complex organization functions. And I really appreciate all the duties and responsibilities that I hand off to her. The organizational chart has recently changed to bring communications and marketing under the umbrella of the President's office. The scope of our communications activities is expanding very rapidly, particularly in the realm of social media. We understand the importance of having a strong presence in the venues that are most popular with students and potential students. Dr. Gary Perry served with distinction for 7 years as the Dean of the the Charles E. Schmidt College of Science, stepping down from that position just a few months ago. The college is now being led on an interim basis by Dr. Russell Ivy, and we thank him for taking on that responsibility. And Dr. Perry has graciously agreed to serve as the interim provost and chief academic officer. We also owe Dr. Diane Alpern a huge debt of gratitude for her recent valuable service as acting provost, marking the 3rd time she's served in the university as this capacity. Wow. Thank you, Diane. I've also made some additional organizational changes that I want to share with you. In accordance with current best practices, the reporting lines of a number of administrative units are being returned to the Provost Office. These functions include enrollment management, which include admissions, the Registrar's Office, and student financial aid, as well as the Office of Information Technology and Institutional Effectiveness and Analysis. In addition, the Office of the Vice President for Research and the Dean of the Graduate College will now report to the Provost. In an effort to streamline our graduate education operations, Dr. Perry will work with Dr. Rawson to align ourselves with best practices in the future. As I have said earlier, so many truly noteworthy things have been accomplished at FAU this year that I'm not going to be able to cover all of them today, for which I sincerely apologize. I wish I could put a photograph up on that screen of everyone who's done something really great, but that would take us, and we'd be here till 5 o'clock, and trust me, you don't want to listen to me till 5 o'clock. So let me preface the next part of this presentation with a statement that I'm only going to be able to show just the tip of the iceberg. So many other extraordinary contributions to the university have been made this year, and the university is very proud of every single one of them. As an institution, we can take tremendous pride in the fact that FAU has received the highest possible rating from SACS team, the on-site SACS team that recently visited our campus last February and made a very careful review of our reaccreditation, our documentation, which was incredibly voluminous. The team had no recommendations to offer about further action that needed to be taken to qualify FAU for full 10-year accreditation. That's an amazing, amazing achievement. This has only happened 3 times in 30 years for on-site review teams. Approval is expected to be granted when the SACS Commission on Colleges holds its annual meeting in December. Thanks to everyone throughout the university who took part in this 2.5-year-long self-study process, particularly the leaders of this effort, Dr. Katanjali Kaul, Dr. Brenda Claiborne, and Dr. Jeffrey Bueller. Thank you very much for your service on this. I think we need that Johnny Carson applause sign that comes up. The SACS team especially gave us very high praise for our quality enhancement program, which is an essential element of reaccreditation. They said they'd never seen a more enthusiastic university-wide buy-in for a QEP, and they commended us for tackling the task of expanding the culture of undergraduate research and scholarship through the initiative that we're calling Distinction Through Discovery. Thanks and congratulations to Dr. Donna Shamlevik, who spearheaded this transformational effort with tremendous dedication and effectiveness, and to all the faculty, students, and staff who are helping us to move this forward. The library has already published several issues of the recently launched Undergraduate Research Journal. You'll be hearing a lot more about our QEP in the years ahead, So stay tuned. That's only just begun. Thank you, Donna, very much for leading us through that process. Our faculty members have achieved numerous distinctions this year, including 2 Fulbright Awards. Dr. Douglas McCutcheon, Associate Professor of History and Director of Peace Studies at the Dorothy F. Schmidt College of Arts and Letters, will spend 4 months in Calcutta beginning this December. Dr. Carmen Kenyatta Kinsada, Associate Professor of Spanish in the Harriet L. Wilkes Honors College, will spend 9 months teaching and conducting research in the Dominican Republic. Dr. Jeffrey Morton, Professor of Political Science, as well as founder and director of the award-winning diplomacy program in the College of Arts and Letters, received the prestigious Foreign Policy Association Medal of the World Leadership Forum. Here, the president of the association, Noel Latif, presents the award to Dr. Morton. Others who have been so honored include Bill Clinton, Secretaries of State Colin Powell, and Madeleine Albright. Congratulations to Jeffrey. Dr. Kevin Wagner, Associate Professor and Director of Graduate Studies in the Department of Political Science, was named the Academic Fellow on the Study of Terrorism by the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. He went to Israel for an intensive course that focused on strategies democracies can use to defeat the worldwide terrorist threat. Dr. Vladimir Kulich, Assistant Professor in the School of Architecture, was named as the 2013 Fellow by the American Council of Learned Societies, a unit of the National Endowment for the Humanities. This fellowship supports the project titled Building Between Empires, Yugoslav Architecture and the Cold War Networks. Dr. Raphael Dalleo, Associate Professor of English, was named a Scholar in Residence by the New York Public Library Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. This award includes a grant of $30,000 for the 6-month residency period. Dr. Kate Detweiler, Assistant Professor of Anthropology, was part of the research team that discovered a new species of African monkey in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This was just the second new species of African monkey discovered in the last 28 years, and this has generated widespread publicity in both the scientific and popular press communities worldwide. Associate Professor of English, Ice Buchak. I'm glad I didn't butcher that name totally. I'm sorry if I did. Received not 1, but 2 highly prestigious literary awards. The Penn O. Henry Prize, which is the nation's most sought-after award for short fiction, and the Pushcart Prize, which is given annually to recognize the best work published in small press. Ms. Buchak was honored for 2 of her short stories, The History of Girls and Iconography. Oh, Dr. Herbert Weisbach, Distinguished Professor in the Charles E. Schmidt College of Science and Director of Center for Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, was named a Charter Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors. This is a very high honor accorded to only 98 scientists nationwide. Dr. Weisbach research is currently focused on the understanding of the role of oxidative damage in the aging process. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Weisbach. He's one of my favorite people. Thank you very much. Dr. Josephine Bioku Betts was one of the 8 women statewide who received achievement awards from the Florida Commission on the Status of Women. She was honored for her tireless work and as director of FAU Center for Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, which has led to its ongoing development even in the face of severe budget cuts over the last several years. Dr. Fred Fegis, Professor of Communications and Director of Graduate Studies in the School of Communication and Multimedia Studies, has received the Roy F. Ahrens Award for his contributions to the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community. This is an award that's presented annually by the GLBT Interest Group of the Association for Education in Journalism and Mass Communications. Dr. Fegis was recognized for the important contributions that he made to education and research on GLBT issues over a period of over 20 years. Dr. Rhonda Goodman, assistant professor in the Christine E. Lynn College of Nursing, has received no less than 3 honors over the past year. In addition to being named the university's 2013 Distinguished Teacher of the Year, she's the Palm Health Foundation Palm Beach Post Nurse of the Year and the Palm Healthcare Foundation Educator of the Year. She delivered an excellent speech at the freshman convocation that was pitched to our incoming students, and our students also have distinguished themselves as well. Thank you very much to her. Rhonda gave an excellent speech at convocation, and I applaud her for telling our students to look through the whole process, get through in 4 years, and have fun at the same time. Here's a brief sampling of some of their achievements. Nursing master's student Yuzar Saragan won a Fulbright scholarship to conduct research in the Philippines on care for terminally ill patients. She's the 3rd FAU graduate to win a highly competitive Fulbright Award over the past 3 years. Her college, the Christine E. Lynn College of Nursing, has received the 2013 Award in Excellence for Holistic Nursing Education from the American Holistic Nursing Association. The spring of 2013 cohort of graduating accounting scholars achieved 100% employment with leading accounting firms at starting salaries averaging more than $55,000 a year. FAU's human-powered submarine team added to a long string of victories by winning first place for use of composite materials at the 12th International Submarine Races held this past summer at the Naval Surface Warfare Center in Bethesda, Maryland. Our team also set the record for fastest female pilot, ocean engineering major Jennifer Frame. The submarine races were introduced by FAU in 1989 and now include participating teams from all over the world. Congratulations to the FAU submarine team. Marcus Bright, a PhD candidate in the School of Public Administration, was chosen to speak at last month's 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, sharing the podium with a stellar cast of civil rights leaders and government officials, which included President Obama. Marcus was the executive director of an organization called Education for a Better America, and he told a crowd of more than 150,000 that education is the premier civil rights issue of the 21st century. 2012 FAU high school graduate James Martin carried out an internship in molecular biology at Princeton under University of Princeton Dr. Eric Wieshaus. Dr. Wieshaus won the Nobel Prize in 1995 for discoveries concerning genetic control and early embryonic development. James also received his bachelor's degree from FAU summa cum laude during the summer of 2013 commencement ceremonies, and then returned to Princeton to work as a student in Dr. Wieshaus's laboratory. Wow, those kids are amazing. Just amazing. But it's no surprise that in this economic climate, the research dollars are hard to come by. But despite that, FAU researchers were able to bring in $33 million in outside resources this last year. Here are some of our top awards. Dr. Joseph Auslander of the College of Medicine and Dr. Ruth Tappan of the College of Nursing received over $1.7 million from various sources to further their research on ways to reduce rehospitalization of nursing home residents with Alzheimer's disease and other debilitating disorders. Dr. Michael Brady of the College of Education was awarded a 5-year grant of more than $1.2 million by the U.S. Department of Education for his project titled Mentor Lead, preparing the next generation for leaders for special education faculty roles. Dr. Shirley Pomponi of HBOI received over $1 million from the National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration to fund the 4th year of a program that focuses on the development of advanced underwater technologies, exploring the research of frontier regions of the eastern continental shelf, and improving the understanding of deep and shallow coral ecosystems. Dr. Andrew Olenikoff of the College of Medicine received a total of nearly $1 million and 2 grants from the National Institutes of Health, supporting his research on vaccines to combat severe malaria and the discovery of pathways through which maternal anemia is transmitted. Dr. Erica Hoff of the College of Science received a $630,000 grant from the National Institute of Child and Human Development to support her study on early dual language development in children from Spanish-speaking families. Ms. Susan Skemp of the Southeast National Marine Renewable Energy Center received $592,000 from the U.S. Department of Energy to support the installation of a small-scale ocean current turbine test in the Gulf Stream off the coast of Fort Lauderdale. This important project got the green light from the federal environmental authorities just this last summer. The first test berth is expected to be placed early next year, advancing our efforts to become the first university in the world to demonstrate the feasibility of generating energy from ocean currents. Dr. Xavier Comas and Dr. Brian Benscoter of the College of Science have been awarded more than $570,000 by the U.S. Department of Energy to study carbon cycling and climate change in the Greater Everglades. Dr. Daniel Reyes Guerra of the College of Education received nearly $500,000 from the Department of Education for continuing curriculum of his innovative principal preparation program, which aims to place highly effective leaders in low-performing schools. The second cohort of this program graduated during our summer commencement ceremony. This is a partnership and an initiative with the School Board of Broward County that's based on our Davie campus. And I have to tell you that this, I attended their graduation this last year, and this group is doing this with a grant for 2 years, and we're going on 1 more. But this is going to be self-sufficient within the next 4 years. Quite a feat. The future of this university and of all universities depends to a huge extent on the ability to conduct research that's designed to meet the most pressing needs of people all over the world, and particularly in the area of biotechnology. FAU has made dramatic advances on that front in recent years, and more are on the way. A few years ago, our biomedical researchers got the golden opportunity to work side by side with world-class scientists at Scripps and Max Planck, and we're now doing all we can do to take full advantage of that opportunity. We've established the Jupiter Life Science Initiative on the MacArthur campus by moving 6 neuroscience labs there and launching a PhD program in collaboration with our partners at Max Planck. The initiative is under the direction of Dr. Rod Murphy, Chair of the Department of Biological Sciences. Dr. Brenda Claiborne is bringing her extensive experience in brain development and aging to her new role as the Director for Neuroscience. We've created an impressive program with powerful players, and we expect it to yield enormous benefits to the university and our entire region. With that great potential in mind, I've made development of the Jupiter Life Science Initiative one of my top priorities as interim president. We're dedicating $1.7 million to this year's budget to support of the continued growth of the Jupiter campus as a nationally and internationally important center of neuroscience research. Now that we've returned to the subject of the budget, I'd like to tell you about one of my other priorities, and that's giving all of us raises, which we so richly deserve. We're all acutely aware of the fact that as state employees, we've only had 1 salary increase over the last 6 years. The raise schedule that we've worked out will not completely close that gap, but it's an encouraging development and a good start for us to head back in the right direction. The budget that the Board of Trustees approved in June includes a $2.7 million for raises that will go into effect on October 1st. The implementation plan calls for employees earning $40,000 a year or less to receive $1,400, and employees earning more than $40,000 to receive $1,000 raises. The university is currently in negotiations with the representatives of UFF and the PBA, and we hope to be able to announce that outcome very soon. In addition to the raises that I just mentioned, the Board of Trustees has also approved a 2% merit increase pool. These raises will be awarded on a selected basis, also effective October 1st. And Tallahassee has also announced a $600 performance bonus plan, which will be distributed in the spring to about 35% of all state employees. You can be sure that we'll be working very closely with our legislators next year to try to keep this very encouraging trend going. Another piece of good news. Another piece of good news is that the restoration of last year's budget cuts have also enabled us to modify our plan to close the downtown Fort Lauderdale campus. While many programs have been moved from that location to other campuses, the School of Architecture and the Executive Masters of Accounting program from the College of Business, headquartered in Fort Lauderdale, will remain there. That's very good. We've worked very hard to establish great relationships with the downtown Fort Lauderdale and the city, and we don't expect to leave ever. Boy, that's a long time. Next month, the School of Architecture will host the 4th International Subculture Cities Conference, which will bring together researchers from around the world to discuss challenges unique to the subtropics, with a special focus on the consequences of climate change. This conference will also coincide with the Sea Level Rise Summit of the Florida Center for Environmental Studies, headed by Len Berry, which is based at FAU and which continues to facilitate research on this looming threat to South Florida and other low-lying areas. Another critically important environmental work is also going on at HBOI, where teams led by Dr. Dennis Hanasak is part of the effort to produce and restore the endangered Indian River Lagoon. The lagoon is a shallow water estuary that stretches along 40% of Florida's east coast and has an annual statewide economic impact in excess of $3.7 billion. In recent weeks, we've seen alarming media reports about the rapid decline of quality in the lagoon and the toll that this is taking on a diverse array of plants and animals living in these waters. The situation has reached crisis proportions, and Dr. Dennis Hanasak and his colleagues at HBOI took an important step in the right direction last year by establishing the Indian River Lagoon Observatory Program, which is tracking the changes and uniting the scientific community in developing ways to develop and educate the public about steps that need to be taken to save what is an irreplaceable natural resource. Even though we didn't get many PICO construction funds this past year, we've been able to build some really outstanding new campus facilities. I've already told you about the Parliament Hall, which was a $41 million project and a joint venture of the university, the architect, and the developer. It was financed with housing bonds secured by student fees and was designed to meet a gold LEED certification standard. What you've seen on the screen is a brand new addition to the Center Marketplace, a $5 million project that was completely paid for by our food partner and longtime partner, Chartwells. This is a great example of how a strong private-public partnership and its relationship with the FAU Department of Business Services can work together to create some great opportunities. And here's a preview of the Lewis and Ann Green Memory and Wellness Center. This is going to take a look at the new addition that's under construction and will be complete. And when it's completed, we'll be doubling its size. Thanks to a generous second gift from Lou and Annie Green and the dedicated fundraising efforts of the Caring Hearts Auxiliary, we were able to break ground on this much-needed expansion last spring. Completion of the $1.8 million project is expected next month. This year, our Memory and Wellness Center became the first facility of its kind to be designated a special Alzheimer's service center by the state of Florida. More parking tops the wish list of many of you here. Drive on the Boca Raton campus. Here every day searching when you could go out and find a space and walk a little bit and get some health. That was ad-libbed, incidentally. Parking Garage 3 is currently under construction just west of the FAU Stadium. It will be finished by December and will give us 1,000 new parking spaces, 1,000 very needed new parking spaces. The Recreation and Wellness Center has been buzzing with activity ever since it opened several years ago, and now it's undergoing its third major expansion. This $1.2 million project will add a fitness studio to the center's state-of-the-art facility. Completion is expected in November. Its financing has come through the Capital Improvement Trust Fund fee and student government, as well as recreation center fees. And what on earth would we do without the FAU Foundation? Do you know that the FAU Foundation was actually established 2 years before FAU opened its doors in 1964? Then as now, state funding was scarce, so Boca Raton banker Tom Fleming led the charge to raise private money from private sources. That effort generated $300,000 in startup money for the university, and the foundation has been our most faithful partner ever since. This past year, the foundation's fundraising efforts brought in $18 million. This has provided much needed support to students, faculty, and the programs throughout the university. At the end of the fiscal year, on June 30th, our endowment stood at $189.3 million. Major gifts this year included a $3 million planned gift from Dr. Morton Levitt and Miss Cindy Levitt to establish the Dr. Morton Cindy Levitt Endowed Scholarship Program for medical education. This is the largest gift that's ever been made by an FAU faculty member. A $2.5 million gift from the estate of the university's longtime friend and supporter, Thomas Chastain, was also received. A $500,000 gift to the FAU Stadium from ADT Security, which has also donated that large clock that's mounted on the south exterior of the wall. That clock has an interesting history. It also was on Boston's Fenway Park during the Iconics facility 99th anniversary year in 2011. Also, we received this year a $250,000 gift from trustee Dr. Jeffrey P. Feingold and Mrs. Barbara Feingold to renovate the Board of Trustees room, which will be named in Dr. Feingold's honor. Thanks to the tremendous and generous gift from Dr. Levitt, who chairs the Integrated Medical Science Department in our School of Medicine, this year's faculty staff campaign broke all previous records, reaching $3.35 million. Wow. We're especially excited about the fact that employee participation went from 19% to 30%, and that's a tremendous vote of confidence from within our own ranks. I'd like to thank everyone who contributed to the Owl's Nest campaign, which was chaired by Coach Howard Schnellenberger and Dr. Eric Shaw, and also facilitated by Audra Vaz of the Office of Annual Giving. There's so much more that I'd like to report to you, but our time is running out, and you're probably saying, thank God. So let's just scroll through. You're not over yet. So let's just scroll through some snapshots of life at FAU in 2012-13. First, more than 300 FAU students studied abroad last year, about 13% more than the year before. Host nations included Spain, France, Italy, Germany, China, Japan, and Morocco. And of course, you know that we welcome hundreds of students from all over the world to FAU every year. About 150 countries have been represented in our student body in recent years. A 7-college FAU delegation under the leadership of Dr. Kathy Mashevitz has just returned from Turkey, where they visited leading universities to establish new ties. Their entire trip was paid for by the Miami Istanbul Cultural Center and the Turkish American Chamber of Commerce. This year, the Office of International Programs, which is directed by Dr. Mashevitz, has added several excellent universities to the study abroad program and that are available to students, including the University of Haifa in Israel and the Korea University Sejong in South Korea. For the second consecutive year, FAU was the statewide administrator for the Troops to Teachers program. And again, for the second year in a row, we were named the military-friendly school by GI Jobs magazine. It's both an obligation and an honor to extend a helping hand to those brave men and women who are involved in serving our country. The Wagner Volunteer Center for Civic Engagement and Service was named to the U.S. President's Higher Education Community Service Honor Roll for the 5th year in a row. Once again, the center had a very productive year, sending thousands of students into the community to donate their service to a wide variety of amazing causes. Their academic service, learning, and volunteer activities totaled almost 176,000 hours last year. What amazing. Amazing amount of community outreach. Congratulations to Director Nori Carter and everyone else at the Wagner Center. The FAU libraries continue to be the nerve center of our university, and so much goes on within those walls every year that I can't even begin to count it here. One project that attracted a lot of media attention last year was the effort to restore more than 700 vintage Kitty records that were damaged during Hurricane Sandy. They were in a Long Island warehouse where Sandy hit and were caught in the flood that followed. Their owner, Peter Moldavan, is the world's leading collector of American children's records. He was aware of the wonderful restoration work that's being done here in our library's recorded sound archives, so he asked for our help, and we were glad to accept that challenge. This project is moving forward. A website will soon be launched, giving us all who grew up listening to classics like A Very Merry Unbirthday a chance to revisit the songs of our childhood. I don't remember that one, I have to be honest. The College of Education has received gifts totaling $180,000 from best-selling author James Patterson to award scholarships to students who intend to pursue careers as reading teachers. This slide shows Mr. Patterson with the first cohort of Patterson Scholars. It was taken just before the spring 2013 commencement ceremony, where he received an honorary doctorate. As you know, the FAU community includes people of all ages, ranging from the babies and toddlers at the Slattery Children's Center to the senior citizens in our Lifelong Learning Society. The College of Education is serving more than 2,400 children this year at schools on the Boca Raton campus and in Port St. Lucie. We continue to take tremendous pride in the Henderson School, which is the highest performing laboratory school in Florida and the 20th high school among all 3,100 public schools in the state of Florida. Our hugely successful lifelong learning program is serving more than 19,000 members on the Boca Raton and Jupiter campuses. We are very grateful for their participation in the life of the university, for their generosity of providing support to our faculty and students, and to their willingness to share this beautiful facility such as the one we're occupying today. It's a brave new world out there in the communications. As we know, and as I've talked about a little bit about earlier, FAU is getting more involved in social media by the minute. I must admit I'd never expected to become a blogger or a tweeter, and in fact, I'm not even sure I knew what the hell that was. I know, it's another buck in the jar, as they just were talking about. But what do you think happened? I'm doing both now. I began tweeting a few weeks ago, and I already have 161 followers. All right. That's not the Justin Bieber 44 million. I understand that. But I do update the blog once a week, and I do encourage you to go out there and take a look at the blog. Some great things that are happening at FAU are on the blog, and it also tells us a little bit about what we really want to get our message out there. It's linked to the FAU homepage, and I encourage you to take a look at it. And while you're at it, you can log in to the university's new Facebook page, which is closing in on 32,000 likes. The Office of the University Communication and the Office of Information Technology have been working together to revamp our internal communication venues, and we're seeing some great results from that collaboration already. The FAU Today website has been redesigned to be more user-friendly and promote the flow of communications among all units in the university. Several stories of internal interest scroll across the top of the homepage at all times, and pull-down menus at the top connect you to the announcements, news about the university, such as newsletters, videos, and the events listings. At the bottom of the page, I think you'll enjoy our live Twitter feed as well. If you haven't visited the new FAU Today, please do. I really encourage you to get connected. I did. It's a much improved internal communication hub. I'm also very excited to announce today marks the official launch of the FAU's new marketing campaign. The Making Waves theme is a big hit with students, faculty, and staff, and has been updated in its look and style that will apply to all areas of the university. Be on the outlook for this campaign throughout South Florida, and make sure to pick up your Making Waves stickers as you leave the auditorium today. Our student athletes were busy both on and off the field last year, and another very active year has already begun with our teams competing for the first time in Conference USA. The university is already reaping the benefits of being in Conference USA, which has television partnerships with Fox, CBS, and ESPN. We expect each of our football games to be televised on the various platforms, including several in some of the country's top media markets. Membership in Conference USA unites all 19 of our teams under one conference roof, the first time we've been able to do this since 2001. And how about that baseball team? Under head coach John McCormick, who went on an 11-game winning streak last year to capture the Sun Belt Conference title, claiming its third championship in 4 years. The team came within a hair's breadth of beating the top-ranked University of North Carolina in the NCAA regional tournament, losing by a single run in 13 innings. I stayed up and listened and watched every piece of that, even though I had a Board of Trustees meeting the next day at 9 o'clock. At the end of the regular season, the Owls were also ranked 20th nationally, and we know that they're going to bring us even more great victories this upcoming year. 5 of our teams won national honors for their academic achievements. The NCAA has recognized men's golf, women's cross country, women's tennis, women's golf, and women's swimming and diving for achieving academic progress rates in the top 10% of their respective sports. Congratulations to all of these honorees. And how about last Saturday's win at the University of South Florida? Wow. Congratulations to Coach Pelini and the whole team who pulled off some really exciting plays. I'm still hoarse, I think, from that game. Our first home game is this Saturday. Let's pack that stadium and root the Owls on to victory against Middle Tennessee. I know kickoff time is at noon, and that's a little unusual for us, but the game will be broadcast on both television and radio, which you will not be watching. You will be in the stadium watching the game. And I'll be there too, and I know you all will be there. But let me close by saying one thing. It's been a tremendous honor for me to serve as the interim president of this great university. I know President Brogan often ended his speeches by saying the best years of Florida Atlantic University are yet to come. And you know, I really thought about that a lot, and I know that just wasn't rhetoric now. He believed it then, and I believe it now even more. I believe in this university. I believe in our students. I believe in you, our dedicated faculty and staff who breathe life into FAU every day of the year and who keep it moving forward through your talent and incredible hard work and dedication. And I believe in our friends in the community, the wonderful people and organizations that stand by our side in good times and bad, showing us in so many ways that they know what a great university this is and how much greater it will be. Again, I thank you for being here today, and I look forward to talking to you at the reception of the Grand Palm Room. Now let's all get out there, have a great day, a great semester, a great year. Let's make some waves, and let's go Owls!